No, it's not entirely clear what happened. The picture is becoming a little bit clearer thanks to some satellite imagery that we've seen released over the past day. Both the companies Maxar and Planet that release satellite images and have been tracking the conflict in Ukraine have published these photographs that show pretty clearly several craters around the Saki Airbase in Crimea, where Russia had parked several of its jet fighters and bombers that it was using against Ukraine in this war. These images, besides showing these craters, show pretty significant damage to the facilities at the airbase, as well as at least, I believe, 8 or 9 of the dozen or more warplanes that it had there. But in terms of what exactly happened beyond, these massive explosions that sent balls of fire and black smoke into the sky, it's difficult to say. Ukrainian officials told me on background yesterday that there was essentially a Ukrainian hand in this, but they didn't go so far as to say, what that involvement looked like. I think, there was a Ukrainian official who told the New York Times and the Washington Post that special forces were involved. But beyond that, we've been sort of getting these tongue-in-cheek statements from President Zelensky's office and the Ministry of Defense, who've shared several sort of winking memes online suggesting that they were behind it, but not saying explicitly that Ukraine had bombed the airfield.
And when you say special forces, you mean Ukrainian special forces?
Correct. Yes. That there may have been some involvement of Ukrainian special forces.
But we know that retaking Crimea is an aim of President Zelensky. He said only yesterday, wasn't it, that the war started with Crimea being annexed and it will end with it being liberated. So why are they being so coy about if they have had a hand in trying to attack Russian positions there?
Well, the Ukrainians have been careful to not come out and say that they have been behind these various attacks that have happened on Russian soil and deep in occupied territory in Crimea, for instance. In one way, I think that it's sort of a mind game, right? They are playing this information war and psychological war with Russia as well. There is something to winking and nodding at attacks like this that I think can certainly cause or stir some fear and have an effect on morale within the Russian ranks. But also, we know that the Ukrainians have been given these Western weapons that some governments have been concerned about being used against Russian forces deep into the Russian military rear or on Russian soil. And while Crimea is considered by the international community and especially by Kiev to be Ukraine, it has been occupied by Russia for the past 8 years, and it certainly is, well beyond range of most of their weapons. So if they did use something to target it or to attack it that had been given by the West, that would be another reason why they're being so coy about it. But yes, you're right that Crimea is certainly a goal of Ukraine to recapture it. But I think that's certainly further down the line.